So today I want to take a look at this digital inspection system sent to us by Oiiwak, and this is what we have in the box here from Oiiwak Tech. It does come with a very nice carrying case. We have our micro USB charging cable. We got a little tube here with some little tip accessories we'll look at in a minute. And here's the camera itself. It is extremely light. We'll get the screen protector off here. And it shows here we have a 4.3 inch screen, inputs DC 5 volts, 2 amps, resolution 1080p. It does unplug. Looks almost like a USB connection here. If we look at the size of the camera, it says it's 5.5 millimeter. This is right at 6 millimeter. This is not precise by any means, but showing about 6 millimeter. Let's cut it on and see what it looks like. The light is already cut up on it. So we do picture, do video, look at our pictures on the SD card that it comes with, the 8 gig card. We can also go to the menu. Here's our control for the light. That's pretty cool. Pretty bright little LEDs to be so small. Definitely gonna need a lot of light in some dark areas. So yeah, just the on off switch. Yep, and it shuts down. Pretty neat. It does come with the user's manual. We'll look at that at the end of the video, so you can pause that and look at that if you would like. So this little thread protective ring comes off, and I should have checked that as well earlier. Yeah, about just a little over 5 millimeter showing on here, so 5.5 millimeter as stated. And we have these cool little tips. Let's spend a minute looking at these. So this is a little 90-degree inspection mirror. It's pretty dirty. Oops, sorry about that. I should have cleaned that off first. You get to see it there on the camera, but I'll clean it up better later. But yeah, you still get an idea here. And pretty clear. It's for a tight spot, of course, but pretty clear. That's pretty handy that it come with that. We also have a hook, which I really like. So we thread this little hook on here. I believe these are made of aluminum. You have your eyes right at what you're looking at to grab there, whether it's a ring and a sink drain or a tool that you drop. Pretty handy. And we also have a magnet, which is going to be very handy. And it looks like a rare earth magnet, so to be small, it is still very strong. It's demonstrated here. Let's go ahead and let's see if we can pick up this little tool. It's on a magnetic mat already, but it's not strong. So yep, it robbed it. You get to see there up close picking it up. I think those can be very useful for reaching in tight places and finding things and retrieving items. We'll put our thread protector back on, of course. Protect those little fine threads. I am going to go ahead and charge this up fully, and I did just want to see if it would still work while it's charging, and no problem. Don't want to wash the camera out here, but just showing the brightness of the LED. And we'll take this out now. We'll put it in a few things that's common uses for it, like let's just say a bore. This is a 7 millimeter bore we're looking into here. A very common use, and you just see in the video here straight from the SD card on the camera itself. And on something small like this, it stays centered up and it works really, really well. Let's also put this in a smooth bore. Let's say about a 12 gauge smooth bore tube, maybe. Just guessing. And we see here that it would help here to have some type of little foam or soft plastic like donut or sleeve to slide down if you wanted to keep this center so you wasn't looking at just the top. Also, if you want to throw it down a drain to look at, I'm not going to go down into the trap into the water just yet, since I'm still using it for other things, including looking in barrels or bores. But I just cleaned the hair out of this drain pretty recently, so it's not clogged, but this area here is where it gets clogged at sometimes. What about outside on a downspout? This is where my gutters pour into. Didn't expect to see an issue, but you never know. Check out the downspouts. And while we're at it, it makes me think about another use for this that you may not typically think will be that helpful. But if you don't have a drone or something, what about, without getting a ladder up, checking your gutters? Mine definitely need cleaning here, but get you a telescoping pole or like a painter's rod or even a pole saw. I just took the Velcro and hooked it to it, and I can look up there while still looking on the screen and not having to get the ladder out to see what I need to do. Another use I found for this is I'm doing some work on my deck, and even though I know the decking boards are past due replacing and I'm in the middle of that, I use this to go around and make sure structurally that all my joists and supports are in good shape. And I could tell I had one spot I was going to support a little bit as I'm replacing those rotten boards. And actually in one downspout I did find an object, and I was trying to figure out what it was in this part of the video here. I didn't even worry about the spider web or whatever they had got across the lens. Sorry about that, but I was trying to figure out what the heck is in this downspout I'm looking at, and it's actually a piece of shingle the roofers had let get to the gutters when they re-roofed my house a while back. So good thing I saw that. I did not know that was actually blocking some of my downspout in a heavy downpour, so I need to get that out as well as clean my gutters. So just a few uses there that we see. It's a lot more that this could be handy for. I do want to take time on video now to show it a little more technical than some others have gotten into. The first thing I want to do is show how much it weighs. This little scale is showing in grams at the moment, and we're looking right at 312 grams or 11 ounces for the whole thing. And if we take a loose the camera, the unit itself is 178 grams or 6.3 ounces. I'm going to take these little rubber plugs out. It's going to be 6 of them, as well as 6 screws, and we'll take a look inside. I'll fast forward through part of this so we won't have to watch the whole thing, and we'll make the video a little bit shorter. And here we go. So we see our battery and our connector. I'm going to go ahead and take the screws off of this board, and then we'll have to take the battery off and get the screen connector loose. The sticky tape had this battery so well that it was starting to bend as I was prying, so I'm going to have to be careful here with a razor and get in there and just try to slice some of that tape up against the board. Got lucky that there's no components there to have to worry about, but so that was easy enough. We can unplug this now and move it. And really can't see the specs on the battery, but I'll see if I can get to that later. Let's flip this little catch up so we can remove our ribbon cable for our display. And there's our board. I don't really know why they got the double-sided tape there. I don't really see what it's protecting from right off, but not sure. Maybe that capacitor there, not real sure. Let's get a little close up of the board here so you can see all the components on it. Do have our adjustment for our light here, our on off, and our SD card. It's got our charging port at the bottom, and the back simply has our LCD connector as well as our battery connector. The only thing besides the screen on the front part is just our little rubber membrane for our push buttons, and that's it. Go ahead and put the board back on. Insert our ribbon back in our connector. Just make sure it's pushed in all the way. It don't look like it's in all the way, but I believe it is. Yep, felt good. So I did get some information off the battery here. It looks like it's going to be 2800 milliamp hours, 10.3 something watt hours, and looks like 3.7 nominal volts. So at least we see that much data. If we look here though, looks like it says 1880 milliamp hours there, but it's good that we do have a little protection board on the battery. That's cool. I'm going to go ahead and stick the battery back on here and make sure it sticks good. If it don't, I'll put some more tape on it, but I think that's good. Before we hook the connector back up, I'm going to see if I have a connector where I can check the current draw while in use. It's going to look something like this connector here, but this one's a little bit too big. So I found another one on a board, on some junk boards I had, and I took it off. So this one here is the right size. Without cutting into the original wire for the battery pack, which I don't like to do, I can just simply connect these in and put my meter on amps. Since it might be above 400 milliamps, we'll see. We read milliamps on the screen, but I got it through my amp jack, so let's just see. We cut it on. We see the processor start up as the milliamp draw starts, and then the camera boots on up. Yep, and we're hitting right at half of an amp, 528 milliamps to be exact, and that's with no light. So with the light on bright, we're right at 600 milliamps. So we're going to call it 0.6 amps since that's got the LED's full brightness. You know, so even if that's 1800 milliamp hours or over 2000, you're still talking about over 3 hours of use, so that's pretty good. So we cut it off and it shows 0, but I want to go to microamps and just see on the real small level here on microamps, what do we draw when it's off? And it looks like 20 microamps. So that's pretty impressive. Let's double check. Yep, 0's out and then go to 20 microamps. So that's 0.02 milliamps. So a 2000 milliamp hour battery, for example, is about 100,000 hours, or 4,166 days, or over 11 years. So pretty impressive. That's just a connector I used. Just the wires are a little small, but it does do the trick for just getting a good rough number of what the current draw is. So I'm going to charge this battery back up, and then we're going to use this electronic load and battery tester to see what the capacity of the battery actually is. So back now we are fully charged, the light is off, and I just want to unhook the battery and connect it up to our battery tester. I'm just going to hook up our connector here that I have soldered on, and these wires are small, but I'm going to set the load low It really only makes sense to put it at 0.6 amps, really the exact load of the device is powering. So we got 2.7 volts for cutoff. We're reading 4.2, and we got a 0.6 constant current set point. And we'll just start the test and we'll see how it does. When we come back, we'll see the run time, and that run time will be the actual run time of the device since it's the same current. So back now, we're complete at a 3 hour and almost 13 minutes at 1929 milliamp hours to a cutoff of 2.7 volts. Hook it back up, and it will not power on at 2.7 volts, by the way. So this is a good time to hook it up and see, because yep, everybody's probably wanting to know. And yep, with the battery dead and you plug it up to USB charger, you can use the camera. So just note, on a job you can use a power bank or something like that to not only increase the run time, but if it happens to be dead on you, you can use a power bank to run it, and you can use it while it's charging. I'm just going to put this back together, and I'll probably put some of this video up in the upper right hand corner so it don't take up so much more time on the video. So all in all, I think this camera works very well for the money. It's suited for a lot of jobs that I could think of, and it's going to be handy to have around. I really appreciate Oiiwak sending it to us. It comes with a nice case, as mentioned. The little end attachment accessories are going to be very handy with it. So now let's look at the user's manual. You can pause the screen or take a snapshot if you would like. Shows some of the specs, description, talks about the menu tree, which I didn't take time to really go over, but it's so many videos showing a lot of the operation detail. I tried to keep that to a minimum and do more with the technical side of it and how it's built and the battery performance and things of that nature. So hope you found this video helpful today. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll have a link down in the video description of this digital inspection system, and Oiiwak is going to give us a discount on it if you're interested. So click there for the details. So I hope you found it helpful. Thanks for watching, and God bless.